Hey, everybody. Oh, my goodness. I'm a bit loud over here. You got the Wicked Lady Hippie. We're at my bar, meaning I'm at home and I don't need an Uber. There's a long story behind this, but it's probably not that great for everybody. There are no, I have no assistance with this. I am beyond amateur status. It's just like when I go to Walmart and I'm an unpaid, untrained cashier. I love that. Then they ask, how was the service? What the fuck? Yes, let me give you a little bit more background. Army veteran, published author, have a tendency to drink. I'm at my bar. I wanted everybody who was a hippie out there to pop in, either start their own show. Who cares? This stuff is great. It's better than AC. Best invention since, like, I don't know, like I said, AC. At least we have that here in the States. I have served in Europe, and trust me, cold beer is an enormous treat when you come back. Although I prefer ales, I didn't care much for beer. Then I technically I'm a whiskey or well, a few things on ice. That's where I pour it. Cheers, everybody. Oh, you joined me here. I'm in Augusta, Georgia. And like I said, I wanted the hippies to unite, come out and say, hey, we didn't do this shit. We did not vote for somebody who was a refugee from Somalia to pass our laws in Congress because we can't. Anybody? Okay, just saying. Sanctuary cities. Fort Sumter tried that back in the 1880s. Fired a shot, fired a cannon shot. We called it the Civil War after that. Yeah, they couldn't secede from the Union. But apparently, if you don't use the word secede, they can do that shit. Have you seen Los Angeles? Oh, my ever loving God. New York is beyond description as well. Seattle, Portland. Oh, I could go on. It's just freaking nuts. I'm a Cook County girl born and raised Chicago, Illinois. Not meaning I spent a lot of time there because I only spent 17 years there. I enlisted in the Army. Parents signed me in. I was college level reading and so forth at 9. I'm adopted. World War tours. Great, great people. Love them. They're already over the rainbow waiting on me. And I'm surprised I have not joined them. I am a hippie, true and true. I get very angry when somebody tries to use the appellate baby boomer. They said, well, you were 4 months in there. I was like, fuck you. Again, not for kids, okay? Yeah. I was with the first company women to train regularly with the men and not in the Women's Auxiliary Corps, the WACs, although that's what it was when I left on the plane. But when I landed, I wasn't at Fort McClellan, Alabama. I was at Fort Jackson in Columbia, South Carolina, not far from here. We're in Augusta, Georgia. The famous Masters gets me. I don't even know how to have enough hotel rooms. They just got another city kind of offshoot like Leon Valley and San Antonio. Yes, I love Texas. I was my first actual duty station was Fort Sam Houston, and then over to Germany and so forth. My son was born in Heidelberg, Germany. He was scared about that for a while because he had dual citizenship, and over there you have to serve at 18. I'm sorry, it is not fair. Maybe. He had a passport at 6 weeks old. I still had a passport. I had one made at the same time, even though it was Army ID everywhere. No, we did not carry a purse. Very rarely. It was just in our way. You might have put a lipstick in your pocket. That's about as good as it got in my day. Then you were soldiers. You weren't out there, as they put it, sashaying. We didn't lose one woman. They said we could go back if we wanted since we had not enlisted for regular Army. But they had phased out all of the women's auxiliary corps, the waves, the WACs, all of them were now to train in regular training. And we were like, bring it. We were all so young and stupid. My eyebrows still hurt. I did a lot of firsters. Worked in D.C. in the agricultural department, one of the top, and we were in charge of implementing food stamps, and doing all of that and changing this and that and the funding money and making it all work. And now you just use a little card like you know, are rich. And most of them are. They spend $700-800 a pop, and they go out and get their Lamborghini and go home. I get up there and say, Where's the bus? I'm retired. Don't ever think, folks, that when you retire, that you will have tons of time on your hands. You won't, especially you ladies. My husband has continued to work. He retired before me. He's a little older. He is actually a baby boomer. He's also a hippie. He's been my husband for a few decades now. It kind of turned him. He's a Native American of the Creek Nation on the chieftain line. And his sister was married to my biological half brother. And they went to looking for myself and my sister, who had been adopted out. The mother had said that we were stolen by the father. No, I have no idea who that was. So they reached out. My damn sister, his younger sister, bless her, she's up there too. And my adopted brother. First call the woman made was because the Parade magazine had us on the front page because the parents got a stipend from the government every month for each child till they were 18. So even my friends, after summer was over, back to school, came running with the newspaper. You're in the newspaper. Yeah. None of us wanted to do that shit. My brother hated the whole time. They made him get on the slide with the kids. He was 13 years older. I was already 9. So it was, you know, and they were able to use that money to buy a house in the suburbs. Now, the houses in the suburbs in the late 60s, early 60s, well, through the 60s, 70s, and so forth, they were a little different than the ones you have now. They were just starting out. Every party that the parents had, every barbecue, every, September, you had Labor Day and all of that. So we were the house, all the friends and family had apartments, so they came to our house because they said they had enough room for them. So we learned a lot from the lapse of the baby boomers. Yes, we did, and I adored my parents. And but I only had parents for 7 or 8 years, and then I had to go. I had dreams to get out of the house. The sister, bless her heart, I brought her to live with me when I was stationed at Fort Sam Houston. She was stupid. I sent her back home. She was pregnant, would not get married. Guy loved her to pieces, ended up enlisting and finding me when I was in Germany. Oops. Uh-oh, there we go. I had 10 to yesterday. In any event, that's enough about there was one more thing about that story. So I ended up coming to, it's below Macon, a place called Fort Valley, Georgia. And I had an idea about this before I got there. I just had a feeling they were not going to like a professional woman. All my clothes were like suits, man. I had like a pair of jeans. I was working college, raising a kid. And the father, he had a father, but he wasn't there. I threw the kid in, but I didn't do that. So, turned out, like I said, the sister, my husband's sister, married to the biological half brother, made the phone call, only one. And the brother reached out to the younger sister, who then insisted that crying that she was going. And if I didn't go, yada, yada. So off I went. Turned out I rather liked that boy. That was that was the sister-in-law, technically. His brother, he was divorced and I was divorced, and both of us had been basically separated for like a decade, kids, and raising them on our own kind of thing. Well, not his. That was another story entirely. So that's how I ended up basically in Georgia. I still think this might be a little too loud. You may have to adjust it on your end. So again, I wanted to get everybody together. I started this 3 years ago. I got in a really, really bad accident, and it just crippled me for a year. I was put together with bandages and stuff, holding bones in place. And when I was due to get corrective surgery and all of this done, the hurricane hit. So it was another 2 weeks before I even saw another doctor. I'd only seen 1 or 2 in that month. And they sent me to the Augusta Hospital, and it's also a student hospital, like I used to run at the Texas Health Science Center. In any event, yeah. So it took a year before I could even stand alone I mean, put any weight on one whole leg. So, I had been completely incapacitated for over a year. I didn't even touch Facebook because it just basically hurt to look at the wall. I mean, I was like in a hospital bed, same as, restricted with everything. And it was just so painful. And they didn't do anything about that stuff. They don't treat pain. They give you extra strength Tylenol. And I did love my guys that was taking care of me. They were just the sweetest bunch. There was a bunch of them too. No, they had a whole staff that filleted me. And scars all up and down the legs. And I have more metal in one leg than I do in my car. It's just, so I had the whole year and whatever off, and I had physical training and all that stuff to go through. But now I can actually walk. My husband bought me the greatest shoes. I can't show them, but they're the square inch heel ladies, and they're like black suede, and they have a lace look to them on the sides and front, and it zips up the back, and it's like about the 1920s kind of look. It's really a different look, and I love these shoes. And he got them, he said, because he wanted me to have something to look forward to when I could walk again, because I thought I'd never get another pair of shoes. It was funny when the surgeon said, "You can wear shoes now." I was like, as I had been all, strapped up for over a year. And so I was all, the husband nearly died that day, though. They said, you're good to go. We're going to release you. You can wear shoes. And that was literally it. I'm quoting. And left. And the nurse come in and said, "Do you want to go ahead and take it, have me ace wrap it for you again to get home and put the boot back?" I was like, "Yeah, kind of, sort of." I'm not sure how this is going to work because it hurts a lot. And so off we go and back home. And again, my husband's looking at me when it's time to get out of the car. I'm looking at him going, "You didn't bring the crutches. I got to use the wheelchair." Oh, no. Yeah, wheelchair out, come in. I'm halfway through the house, which we've turned the first floor to a bar. We redid everything, got one of the pods, all the old furniture in. The new furniture in, and got rid of the old furniture and stuff because my husband had bought this bar. This is a Remington bar. It takes up an entire area of the house. We closed off one of the kitchen doorways, so it's the whole thing was redone. And I was basically on my back right after that. And so I apologize. This is my second channel, which is what I was getting to. I think Lady Hippy is my first channel. I have to look again. But I broadcast every day then when I started. And I'd be down here. I'd be over And again, I do not drop videos and decide that's what I'm going to talk about. I wanted everybody to get together. I better open my top. Here we go. Sorry, guys. I didn't have my live chat up. And I just wanted everybody to get together. I don't care if you come here. Well, maybe I do. I do not make money doing this. I am not averse to making money, but I know I'm never going to make money doing this. I just wanted to use this medium to reach out. All of us, especially the hippie crowd, and now sweetness comes to my door. I'm still seen by the VA. I've been seen by the Veterans Administration hospitals basically all my life since I was 17. No, I'm not that young, but y'all are so sweet. At least kind. Just don't. We're good with that. And so, hippies unite. It's like you're not going to Woodstock. You're not going to have to get out your money, get in the heat, find a wall around in the mud, lose your tops, and see, we can get on this thing and we could do the same thing for free at home while I'm getting drunk. If you want to join me, I'm in Augusta. Buy your own drink and sit there and talk. We can Zoom. It don't matter. If you're in town or going to be in town, call me. No, unfortunately, I'm not single. Yeah. Jeez. I get to drink when I'm up here. It's the only time my husband and I basically have time, and it's usually just me. He won't appear on camera. No, none of the family will. I have a grandson. My grandson is also an Army veteran. My step grandson is in the Army as a medic, and he did so. He called me from Fort Sam Houston, of all places, to tell me he had enlisted and he was in the medical corps, and that he was at Fort Sam Houston. He was so happy, and that everything I had ever said was right. I just about fainted. I was like, "You remember that?" And because he was 13, 14, 15. And then we couldn't see him anymore. She had divorced and she was with the doctor. She had become a nurse and her life was just that hectic. And we had moved almost 4 hours away. And we go again with these. So we didn't see the kids much. So it was a big surprise. We didn't know he was in the army, or that he had picked medic because of me. And I was just over the moon. My other grandson did the same thing. I pushed him into ROTC like I had done, and Army. And so I ended up putting two of the grandkids into the Army. My oldest grandson, my only grandson technically, of blood, is something else. Both he and my granddaughter are exit away, along, of course, with my son and my stepdaughter, or stepdaughter, daughter-in-law. Hope she didn't hear that. She go, they've been together a long time since they were, like to me, kids now. But when I was 20, I'd look at you like I was going to slap you. What? Did you did? I know. I'm just hearing things. People were afraid of me. I got to admit. I do have a funny story since I haven't gotten anybody to pop in. You heard me announce that I had been adopted. Biological family found us, my sister and I. I'm trying to get a flight to get there at the same time as my sister, and I'm running two places, basically corporate, managing all this. And I've got to take the time away from this to do this. And one of them is a project of putting in a water park. And the other one was where I managed the Holiday Inn directly across the street from the area. That was a restaurant, bar, all this stuff. And so I'm trying to get my subordinates enough to where I could trust them for a few days while I run to Georgia. I'm in Texas. I'm in San Antonio. I kept going back there. I went back like 6 or 7 times, and now I'm kind of stuck here. It looks like anyway. Things it's strange how things come around if you look at it. I came in and I traveled. They said this was going. I ended up on a bus, and I had used buses. I used mass transit because in the big cities it's a lot of money for a car. You got to pay to park. You got to do all that stuff. The mass transit comes straight to your door, drops you straight where you work. It'd be stupid, and it's a lot cheaper. So I had done this all my life, and I was 30 when they contacted us. So I end up on a bus, and they tell me this is an express bus. It doesn't really have but like 2 or 3 stops, pick folk up, and it goes straight in, and it should be about 10 to 12 hours. And I'm like, what? But I'd flown 8 to 10 hours back and forth to Europe many times. And so I knew, travel takes time. So I'm like, okay, and it'll get me there the same day as my sister's supposed to get there. And she was on a bus. I don't know why we both couldn't get a flight, but we couldn't. In any event, I got there. It took 31 hours. I was ready to kill somebody. I had traveled that long, and don't get me wrong. I was already 30, though, and pissed off, and there wasn't anything to drink, and you couldn't smoke a cigarette. And this is the only time I get my cigarillos. I don't smoke anymore, although I'm not really happy with that. I get off the bus, I come in, this boy's there, and I give my ticket. Back then, they used to take your luggage in and out. Now you do it yourself. I love that part. So he comes back and he says, I can't find your stuff, and kind of threw the ticket at me. I said, well, what? There's nobody else here. You're closed down. 31 hours, got awful in the morning the next day. And he's like, it's not my problem. Now, we did train with the men. We had to do exactly what the men did. I'm 5'2". I was a fencer, a dancer, a gymnast, a swimmist. I was all of that before I went in. I was in karate classes from 9 to 35 or 40. Anyway, a long time. And so I picked this boy up and I shook him like he was a little dog. And he wasn't that little, but he was young and wiry. I said, is it your problem yet? Dropped it on the other side of the counter, on my side of the counter. I had just, little bit thing. I forgot there were people there to meet me because I had cell phones. Of course, this was back in 90. You still had cell phones. You paid out the ass, but you had one. And I forgot there were people there to meet me. And the sister who had found us brought her 3 daughters. And these 4 girls were standing there, and they saw all this. They heard all this. and they freaked out. They didn't know whether to say how you're looking for us because and they told this story for the past 40 years or what have you. And so that's just a little bit about me. It's pretty much the same way. The older you get, the better off you can do that. Get away with it more. So that's how I met these people. And I was a professional. I got off this bus in a suit and a London raincoat. I love London raincoats. And so, yeah, they didn't know what to do with me. Then I decided my son was arguing with me about it. My ex-husband was still trying to save the marriage and said, let's just move there. And before I did, I had a job lined up. So I went the next day after I arrived to the job. But we were supposed to stay with the half brother for a week or two until I could get us into accommodations. And it just went south from there. There were two half brothers, one 15 years older and one 13 years older. The older one is a Jehovah's Witness. I don't believe in organized religion. Raised a Catholic, still carry a rosary. Just don't believe in organized religion, and I'm not kissing the Pope's ring. I'm not sure if Jesus would. I mean, the washing of the feet thing I get. There's a story. But yeah, kissing the ring, I don't know about that. And I have been to Rome. I have been to the Vatican. It's exceptionally awe-inspiring what they have there. So much history. Whereas the United States, I mean, there's a lot to see, don't get me wrong. And I love being American, but it doesn't have that, 4,000 years of history or what have you behind it. And when you go to Europe, that's a big difference. That you're walking on cobblestone streets, man, and they hadn't changed them ever since like 989, literally. When the Normans came in, and they're still there, supposedly. I thought there was the Plantagenets, and then we had the Sax and Gotha thing with the Germans, with Elizabeth I, Queen Elizabeth I. I so admire the royal family. I do. I like the fact they call it the firm now. It tore me up when Princess Diana was murdered, and so I grieved along with every other person just about on the planet. And Mother Teresa went the same night. So we were all I was in a lot of tears for change. Oh, I'm getting more orange juice. So I'm going to add one of my husband buys me these little whiskey fireballs. They have a burst of cinnamon at the end. But as I said, I like my whiskey on the rocks. And so I usually, since I'm up here with you guys, instead of tossing one back, which may be easier and faster, actually it would be. But when I was doing that, still had it on ice, and people thought I was taking 20 shots. It's still the little bottle. It's just ended up pretty watery. So I've switched from that. And I usually have a glass that matches whatever my son wearing will match what I'm wearing. I'm kind of weird like that. It's just things that I've always done. You had to dress when you went out in public, and this is out in public. A lot of people call me June Cleaver and all that. I've been wearing like the vintage 50s styles since, well, over a decade now. And I really ramped that up after I got hurt because it's very difficult. The ankle it was pretty much detached. They said semi, but it was like, so all of that was a big mess. And a 9-inch nail. I have all kinds of stuff in here. And it's difficult to get, and they have the straight legs, all of them are pretty tight. And that's what I used to wear a lot. I still do that. If it's raining or whatever, I will throw on a pair of those and my knee-high boots and what have you. I was used to dressing a lot like that. And I still do occasionally. I have different coats that I wear that actually enhance the old scallop style that comes down. It's a really cute look. So I adopted that a decade ago. I was really glad that I did. People couldn't understand it because I wouldn't get on Facebook. I wouldn't do any of that. But I had to get into the bathroom and wash my hair, get a clean outfit out. Don't want to be seen in the same thing. Do the hair and makeup, and then just die. But I knew I looked good every day, just about. Very few days did I miss on that. Even my surgical teams and stuff were They were funny about that. We've never seen you in the same thing twice. Is all of it new? And so, yeah, especially after I was able to start walking, and I went back and I took brownies and stuff to say thank you. And I was wearing those new shoes, and the girls noticed them, and I said, yes, my husband got me these to give me an incentive to get back into shoes. And I tell you, it's like walking on stilts now, but they're so cute. I gotta wear them. I only wear them for a little, walk a little ways, and then I'm back to flat shoes. So I have a lot of those Lucy Ball dresses, and I have a lot of gowns to go straight to the floor, especially summer. I have a few for winter, but there's nothing to them. They were not expensive. I accessorize them, little things. So otherwise, it'd be really plain if you didn't do that with anything. So um, I get a lot of that. It's fun, even at the Walmart and I've been going to the same one for 15 years. This is the longest I've lived anywhere in my life. Even as a kid, I lived in several places. The Catholic orphanage was fun. Love them earlers. And I don't think they do that anymore, but Lord only knows. Mm. And again, I get up here and I just talk about whatever pops through my head. So I'm sorry if I'm boring you. If you stuck out this long, you're really doing good. Buckle up, babies. It does get bumpy up here. Mm. This is the reason I'm allowed to have these. They go out while I'm talking. So I'll have this one all week probably. I'll stick it back in the humidor and go, okay, try it now. So I'm not smoking 15 packs a week or what have you. They come in a pack of 5. But my husband, I won't buy them myself because I think then I would be technically smoking. So I make sure that he picks those up for me. He's pretty good about that, and my little bottles of whiskey. But he always laughs at me on Wednesday, Wednesday, and Friday. He says, "You going to go get drunk?" Yes. Can you do the rest of my chores today? I don't want a mop. Are we ordering a pizza? I don't feel like cooking. At our age, it's like we know what the other one's going to do before they do it. We probably don't agree, but we know. This again is why I said I just I just wanted to do the same thing that we used to do while we were talking about stuff that's absolutely nonsense. It's just crazy, straight up. I What the fuck? It's the biggest clusterfuck I've ever thought I would see in my life. When I returned from Europe, I said, you know what? The terrorists are coming. They're going to live here for a while, and then they're going to kick some ass out here, and y'all ain't listening. I said this in the 80s. A bunch of us did. And my husband and I, when we were on the phone, I was at home for lunch, and I turned on the television, and I immediately called him. And he was trying to call me at the same time. A plane hit the trade center. He said, that building, and it's bad. I said, yeah, I see that, but that's no accident. He says, oh, yeah, that's an accident. I said, yeah, they're supposed to be built to have a plane in it. So one time a plane did hit, but they are reinforced steel, and they're not, and that was not a plane. That was a Boeing 747. And trust me, it saw the building. If it didn't mean to hit that building, it wouldn't have been in that airspace. That's somebody who's not the pilot. And he's trying to argue with me. And the second plane enters the field. I do not know where all that footage came from, but it was so shocking. I hadn't been so shocked since I'd seen the Challenger and Diana in France and Paris. You think you've seen a lot in your life, and then you see a camel floating by in Dubai after it rained. It's just, you've got earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis, tornadoes, forest fires. You cannot find them on any of these legacy news. And I agree with Donnie on that. And yeah, if you can call Kid Rock Bob, I love you, President Trump. I think you're an asshole, but you're our asshole, baby. And yeah, I've always liked Trump. I think people have forgotten he was even on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with the second wife. Blessed. Beautiful family. He's done well. I love Melania. Best first lady. I think she surpasses Jackie Kennedy, and that takes a lot for me to say. I investigated John Kennedy's deaths and his brother's death for decades. It was anything I could find on this. My parents and I all believed that that guy, that he didn't do it. He wasn't capable enough to do it. it was from the grassy knoll, like everybody said that was there. But what you gonna do? And I had even seen the autopsy photos when I was older. They Marilyn Monroe is another one. I absolutely couldn't believe what I was seeing. They showed an autopsy photo of Marilyn Monroe's face with her hair still wet and dripping down the back, but you could see an Indian burn, fierce, horrible Indian burn across the entire face, her nose, her chips, all of this was just an Indian burn. It's just bad. And I said then, I said, they held this girl and she was trying to get loose and they were pouring these pills down her throat and keeping her from breathing until she swallowed them. But yet I've never heard anything else about it. And I can't even remember where I saw this photo, but I knew then. I still have a pretty good idea who did that, but you can't say certain things without pissing off a lot of powerful people. But I can see why there's a conspiracy around it. Especially there was a story about the ambulance drivers who said they picked up Marilyn Monroe alive and she was alive at the hospital. But the story is a personal doctor was killed and she was dead already. I felt for Joe DiMaggio at the time. He loved that woman so much. He loved her. She trusted him. And his whole world ripped apart. Bless him. I don't believe he ever recovered from Marilyn's death. But I digress. These are just things that I said. We'd show up at the round table whenever we were there or passing my pipe or whatever it was I was doing at that time. Yes, I worked for the government. They're boring as hell. Unfortunately, when you have a really high position, they get to know a lot about your life. I'm such a wicked girl, I tell you. Oh. We hippies are getting also blamed for shit we just didn't do. I don't know if the rest of you checked this out, but I kept saying, why do we have an electoral college who elects in the president? Because one state's smaller than the other. What should that matter? It's the personal vote that matters. If there's only 50 fucking people in town, 50 fucking people vote. Why should they have more delegates to cast my vote for me? So I couldn't figure that out after I came back from Europe. These are just little things that just hit me like a wall when I came back here. Everything was so different than when I had left. Clinton was coming up. That was fun too. He sent lots of money to Arabian people. Put it that way. Oh, Hillary managed to, I believe, send some uranium and a truckload of money went, I think it was with Biden. But then again, you look at Minneapolis, Minnesota. Somebody ought to have bought the state. I mean, I saw when they first let us see when they were repoing their Lamborghinis and shit. I would laugh till I cried. It's for the children. It's for the children. You're strapping the kid to the top because it's like not even room for the driver in that fucking thing. And come on, that's a clusterfuck, I'm telling you. So when I grew up in Chicago, only being there 17 years, I still have this accent. I have lived everywhere, all over the world, and I can't get rid of that northern twang. Although sometimes, as my husband says, I sound southern. My son says when I sound southern, I'm going to be funny. I don't know what he means by that, but a lot of people tell me that. I have had many people at the VA since I spent a lot of time there. Why don't you stay? You need to stay here and volunteer. Just keep everybody happy. Everybody's so bored when you leave. I'm like, we'll talk to each other. That's the other thing I say. My generation gathered together, say at the VA, try not to look at each other, everybody on their phones. I don't do that. I will pester the shit out of everybody. What you doing? How old are you? Just stupid shit. My husband said, I got into an accident. Well, not an accident, almost. A bus almost hit me, a yellow bus, a school bus. And I freaked. And I managed to get over far enough to keep her about an inch away from hitting me. But the curb in my tire, the tire blew. So I couldn't move the car, and I didn't know if any kids were injured in this, and I'm freaked out. And I'm waiting on the police, and the woman won't open the door to talk to me even. And I'm like, I I didn't cross into your lane, broad. You were in my fucking lane. But she had managed to move that bus back over into her lane. So there was really no proof of what I said, basically. The cops could tell. In any event, they released her and they said, "Can you drive that car right across to that bank for us? We're going to fix your tire." Yeah, great people. This is about 5 years ago, I guess. And they did. They fixed my tire. And they made me wait inside the car with the heater on because it was so cold and it was frosting a little bit. And they had it all done for me and talked to me for a few minutes. And we all said bye, and off I went back home. I was going to the VA, so I had to cancel that appointment and go back home because it took like an hour for them to get all this done. That's why I talked to them also afterwards. It's all the information, insurance and stuff. And so I get home and there's a bunch of people here for some reason. And they're like, "The cops changed your tire." There wasn't any women. They were just men, mainly my husband's friends, but I'm friends with them too, and their wives. And I'm looking at them like, "Well, yeah, that's all that was wrong. The tire blew against the curb, and I had to have a tow truck." What? We paid for that shit, but I couldn't get it. I couldn't. It didn't, filter in. They were like, "Are you kidding? It has over the car." So it was cute. That's another one of my little stories. And believe it or not, the officers that helped me out were close to me in age. And they were great guys. They were really, it was above and beyond, no doubt. I got hugs. I got hugs. So, yeah, I mean, I've never had a ticket. I was stopped twice. One time I was speeding and I told the man when he said, "You were doing 74 and a 55. I was like, "Really? I didn't know my car would go that fast. It's really old." It got a warning. The second time, I had a new car, brand new car. My husband usually gave me a car with the title. This time he just bought me a new car. I don't remember why. I'm coming back in. I ran an inn, and I'm coming in. It's nearly midnight, and I see this cop go by. And I'm coming up over a hill. I come down. There's a truck driver. Well, my husband was a truck driver for like 50 years, instructor and all. So I hit my lights to let him know there's a cop over here. He didn't get the truck driver. He hit my ass. I was like, "Oh fuck," because my husband had said, "Don't do that because it's not legal." And I thought, "Oh, I really shouldn't have done that. I'm gonna get my first ticket." And he come up and I was singing Bad Boys. I was so tired. I had done a double shift. It's midnight, after midnight. And no, I wasn't drinking, although he asked, of course. But I did bring something with me, and I was having some of that on my way home. And I was so shocked I just dropped it. I didn't even know where it landed in the car. I couldn't find it until I got home. And dumbass me is, he says what's going on and everything, and he's laughing at me because I told him that I'd been singing "Bad Boy." I love the show, and he and I were talking about the show. For like 30, 40 minutes later, it gives me a warning. I go home. My husband's going, "You did it again." What happened this time? Because again, we had cell phones, but I wouldn't drive it on the phone. Even back then, I wouldn't do it. I'm just not that good a driver because I took mass transportation for decades. But when you get to Georgia, you will have to get a car and drive. They have our dirt red roads, and all of them are named Martin Drive or Martin King, or they're all the same, or Pete Drive. So this was before Garmin's. And I'm coming from Perry, another city, to Fort Valley because it's that small a city. You didn't got a place to work in it. So you're driving, 30 miles, 40 miles to go to work and come home. So that happened to me too every time. Not the exact same thing. No, I never got a ticket. Now that I've gotten older, I actually obey the law. Although I do own my car. And everybody, it's kind of like going through Cheers. If my generation should remember the old Cheers crowd. And it was like that in the pubs in England and in Germany, if you went more than once, they knew your name when you come back, or they went, hey, because they'd seen you before and you were a foreigner. And so they kind of remember that. And so I had a good time running through Europe. And I did not go, well, I did go to the places, of course, for tourists, but you didn't stay. I didn't. I went back to, the back door to guys like us who worked for a living and partied with them. And I had a blast. I had a blast. I can't tell you how many museums and how many countries that I sped by. Back them days, you had a camera, but you didn't get the film back for a month and a half. It was all black. One picture had some kind of a light on it, and they charged you 15.25 for it. So you never knew. I never had any photographs turn out hardly. I mean, it was a real bitch. Now they're in there with their phones and their film. Yeah, this is a great media, guys. Take advantage. Get up here. Let's talk about the stuff. Like I said, we're being blamed for all this stupid shit going on in the government. Weekend at Biden's. I mean, come on. Obama's third tour, if you ask me, but I can't conspiracy. I can't say that. That's just what I might have had cross my mind. I'm sure it's not true. And the Minneapolis congresswoman that suddenly reported, my lips get dry in this weather, reported $30 million on her taxes. And when everybody went, how the fuck did she do that? The next week, it was an error done by the accountants. She no longer had that 30 million. And I'm like, how many people bought that story? Seriously. And then I find out that my son, and this really threw me for a loop, because my son knows I prefer music when there's a bunch of people out. And generally, we go to his house, it's a holiday, and there's friends and family, and so it's people. So we throw music on. See, nobody's watching a movie. Even at Christmas, although Brandy does. There's a bit, my daughter-in-law's this particular, I can't remember the name of it now, but it's it's not what I watch. In any event, we try to do that. People, my poor son, people that made me don't seem to forget about me. And he'll be asked for months after somebody has met me, when is your mom coming over? And he has to find a date, and he'll usually make a brisket for 3 days. And everybody gets together again. But he told me that recently when I decided I wanted to do this for fun and maybe talk to my friends, my hippies, that I looked it up and that there were beginner's kits. And so for Christmas that year, I got a beginner's kit from him. And then my husband, when I got home, pulled out the one he bought me, which was 3 times the equipment, including the golden mic, because I liked the golden mic. I thought that was cute. I thought being in a bar was cool. Bill Maher's got a better one. Love you, Bill. Joe Rogan, hey, peace out, baby. Good to see you in Texas. Love Gen News Radio. Love the Cheers scene. That was so freaking funny. Hate what happened there. Been watching you for years. Peace, babies. Same with you, Bill Maher. Johnny, I'll just go with Johnny, right? Johnny Carson. I mean, yeah, baby. Yeah, babies. Angel babies, all of them. This is what I'm saying. I wanted us to remember that it's not all bad. But at the same time, I'm not taking the blame because there's some people in Congress that are still stealing. And we've been screaming this, my generation has, for 40 years or more actually. Why are they taking all our money? Where's it going? And they couldn't tell us. And, bases reporting $1 billion loss of planes. They can't find the damn things. Come on. You tell it to somebody who's a veteran, we'll just look at you and laugh. At least I will. I would be, really? Was it just one? People say, I'll get up there because you're funny. Actually, I think life is funny. I'm not so funny. Or if I am, cheers. I think it's a good thing to laugh. I think it's a good thing to talk about these things. I think it's a good thing that we say, wait a minute, that's not us. That's the baby boomers. And I don't know who the hell you class these people that are mainly in Congress, but when they're 90 and they're still going, and they got $280 million, and they're buying $25,000 refrigerators. Why are they still there? Dianne Feinstein was wheeled in on a gurney to take a vote in Congress. What is this about? Yeah, just vote no. I wheel their ass back up. Yeah, I watched that shit. I used to go to the floor all the time and watch. I think it's funny the ones that they have in Britain with them little wigs. They jump up and down because they got to jump up and yell what they're talking about or what their point is. I love that shit. I watched that one all the time too. I did when I could get there. I love the way the different types of systems work, but they're really very similar. Other than if you don't want to count the presidents as like the monarchy, which is what it is. You buy office in America, and also Google will tell you the Electoral College votes in the American president, not the people. I dare you. Look it up. Come talk to me. Bring it. I mean, and I was saying that crap in the 70s. Who the fuck? Who put this shit together? The other thing I love about the voting is you got the hat that tells you who you're voting with. You got a shirt that tells you who you're voting with. You got 14 signs in your yard that tell people I'm voting for this broad or whatever. You got bumper stickers on your cars. People, it used to be a secret ballot for a reason because it was nobody else's business how you voted. And even then, there were only the two parties. Back then it was the Whigs and the Democrats, I think. Or it might have been the Whigs and Republicans. I get that mixed up. Check for yourself. Or tell me, I'll drop one. I hung out there a lot. Back when the Watergate Hotel was still there. We called it a two martini and a value lunch. We had fun in the fucking 80s too. I mean, it's just you had to have some laughter because you were so stressed. Otherwise, I saw a lot of people give it the stress, and I'm not doing that. I'm not caving. I mean, I'm dying laughing with the medics that come in tried to get me out of the house. Took them 2 hours because I was that busted up. Yeah, because I had the accident here at home coming down the stairs, and my husband was stripping the stairs, and I just slammed right into the front door before I stopped. It hurt like a fucking mess, man. So I'm trying not to scream again, talking to the guys who are waiting for the guy who has the drugs to move me because they can't administer because they don't have the drugs. I'm like, so you're taxi fucking drivers with a gurney? What the fuck all are you doing here? Don't you send me no goddamn bill? They did. I took care of that. They wanted $6,500 because they drove me almost 2 miles to the hospital. Almost 2 miles. Don't you know? That was a mess. That was a real mess. But I took care of that. It's amazing. I used to teach the paramedics. Started in LA, then it came to San Antonio, Houston, San Antonio, Texas. Back then they had to call, they had to call the hospital and talk to physicians as they were treating the person, broken leg, this and that. So we taught them. His field medicine is what it was. And they could set IVs. There was a show called Emergency. If you watch that, I have Roku, YouTube, any of them, just ask for emergency in the search. And you'll see the two guys in the blue uniforms that were the firemen. And they had to pass tests, rigorous tests back in the day. Now we have ambulance drivers. That's finally a paramedic got there. I was going to see him. But that way, everything else, don't move her. I'm trying to sit up because I can't be moved. I scream like I'm screaming the house down if I twitched. I mean, by that point, it had been a little while since I've been so severely injured. All the way there. The guy gave me something, and then he said, I'll give you some more when we get in the ambulance. And I was better off after he did that. I'm looking at him and said, why do you think I'll need more when we get in the ambulance? He said, I'm pretty sure you're going to need more because my husband had all kinds of equipment, engines, trucks, cars in the driveway. So they couldn't get me out of the back door. And I had landed at the front door, literally. So everything had to be, I had to be strapped down. And all this stuff had to be done. It just touching my one leg. It was screen time. There was I didn't try to hold back. I was loud as fuck. Neighbors knew, but it took several hours to get me extricated from the house. So that was fun. And again, I didn't come back up. The channel I had been on for almost a year. They had paused it, so it was hard for me to get back in. My equipment was telling me I needed to dump this, dump that. I didn't want to dump the episodes I already had. I do these live. I hardly ever look at them and edit them. We should see what you get. I got 10 more minutes. Exactly. I have a little timer set up here, and my husband will hold me to it probably. He went to go buy some stuff. I didn't ask. There's no reason. Usually, if I don't ask, he comes back with like whiskey and cigars for me. So I'm pretty good about that. These are some things that just happened in my life. So I know they happened in others' lives too. And I say these things that have happened to me and I get personal about them because I'm hippie. And I think there's nothing wrong with me being personal about what happens in our lives. That we aren't the ones that are still in Congress. We never went to Congress. There are a few that are not our generation, that are my son's generation. They're trying, but they're getting stomped on like nobody's business, and usually don't make it past the first term. You've only got a core cadre that have freaking been there since I was there in the 80s. I kid you not. That's a long time. Nancy Pelosi, I know, was there in 86. 80 freaking 6, okay? For God's sakes. You can't tell me somebody voted that woman in for that many decades and she never did nothing. And she said she's going to do this, and then she would do this. And finally, she didn't say she would do that. She was just going to do this. Basically, they had to protect everybody and make sure all the illegals had free health care, free housing, free food, free phones, free medical, free dental. Nothing was missed. Now, if you were unemployed and you tried to get any of your money back, I wish you a lot of luck with that. If you did make it, please let me know. I've never gotten a penny of my unemployment back. I've always worked, but that's not the point. The point is they took the damn money and they're going to tell me how much Social Security I'm going to get. And they stick to that, let me tell you. Takes 4 months. It didn't take 4 months in 1974, but it takes 4 months in 2026 or what have you in the 21st century. Please. In 60 years, we went from a horse and buggy to a dude standing on the moon in the 60s. Phew. Now look back at history, guys. Has there ever been that kind of an enormous leap in technology? No, there hasn't. Why do you think there was a horse and buggy? You know? Ford makes a car, suddenly everything is on the table. I'm using a manual typewriter. I type 60 words a minute. That was perfect. I got to my first duty station. There was an electric typewriter. I was over the moon. I didn't have to use carbon paper. Oh, yeah, I did. Xerox wasn't there yet. I'm just saying. The world is very different now. The doctors are sitting there on the computers while I'm in there talking to them. I get 20 minutes. And if they're late, I can just leave and reschedule. I love that. But at the same time, that took out an entire industry of work. That was what I used to do. All the 40, 50 years I worked, that was what I did. I ran the back. I did the paperwork. I was the one in charge. So this was, yeah. And it went this way. So I've retired and I'm still busy. I don't do this every day of the week now because I can't find the time. So I'm hoping if you see me, either start your own, come up and say you saw me, drop in and have a drink with me. You don't even have to talk. You can just sit there because I talk enough for everybody. You'll see me, like I said, do that a lot because they go out. And I know it's Friday, so I have to wait till Monday to have another puff. And yeah, I don't like that either. You have to forgive me. This is my home. So what you can kind of see behind me is things I haven't yet taken care of today. I keep saying, well, it's Friday. I could probably get caught up tomorrow. In any event, my time is nearly here. I miss everybody. Cheers, guys. Come on. It's Social Woodstock. How can this not be great? I'm going to have to dash off. I see my time is almost at an end. Be real, guys. Come on out. Peace out. You know, peace and love. Fuck. The world is a clusterfuck right now, like I mentioned earlier. Jesus was asked, when would the end time come? And he said, no one knows that, not me, the Son, only the Father knows. But I can give you what these warnings would be, like a bride welcoming her husband kind of thing. I didn't get that at first. And then I realized that tornadoes had increased not only in volume, but in how many. Volcanoes were created and were exploding. Mount St. Helens, for God's sakes, is a good example. But even now, Santorini had thousands of earthquakes. They had to abandon islands out there. I love Santorini, by the way. That's the old theory. Look it up. Or tell me, I'll fill you in. I'm running out of time. But I said, this shit's biblical. I saw the camel coming by that I mentioned earlier that was floating by, and it's in the desert. I was like, I know now. Not only is it biblical, but I think I've seen everything. So God should be here like tomorrow. And yet it gets worse. Venezuela in 39 seconds. Two horrific earthquakes. And they are not built for that. Japan got 2 or 3, but they were ready and they didn't lose anybody. There are thousands missing. I think there will be thousands dead. But Japan has been getting ready. They're on a bad fault. They knew they had a lot. They're showing the Andreas is moving. It's just so much. The Cascadia line along the coastline of California, Oregon, and so forth. If that goes, it's a slippage. If it goes, oh dear God, it's a tsunami. We'd be dead. Same with Yellowstone, which is now active. And there isn't one magma chamber. There are 3 magma chambers. And that came out, I think, 2, maybe 3 years ago, that information. I was like, oh my God. The one was bad enough. The one was an event that would maybe kill life on Earth, an ELE. And so I want to remember that. And I want everybody else to remember that. There have been civilizations that have been erased, and everybody can go, Atlantis is a myth, right? Well, the same dude talked to you about the war, about the beautiful Helen and Troy. And it was real. Now, what about it? Could Lemuria be true? Could Mu be true? Could they have found Dwarka? Oh, yeah, they did. There's all kinds of stuff out there. Guadalajara has thousands of cities of pyramids, thousands that are, you can't see them because everything's grown over them. Thousands. Where does people go? Besides the fact that they were invaded by Spain and most of them got smallpox. It wasn't all of them, and it wasn't at that time either. So there's a lot going on the planet. Let's get together. Let's talk about this shit. Screw the man, as we used to say in the 70s. Let's just sit down, have a laugh, have a drink, maybe get a little happy. Come and see me. If you did see me, tell somebody if you enjoyed yourself. Please put something in the comments for me, or at least let me know you saw it. I'm getting a lot of grief from people saying, my family, saying I'm wasting my time because I don't have too many followers. So I'm trying to prove them wrong. And especially my son's crowd and my grandson's crowd, by the way, they all know me. My son said he used to get in trouble because he had the hot mom. I was like, what? He never told me that. So things like that are still going on. So come see me, have a drink. I see it tried to jump ahead of me, but I really do have to go. I hate to go, but I do. Monday, I'll be back. So if you saw me today, let me know. Say, shut the hell up. I don't care. Just tell me you was here. If you're a hippie, come on, man. Hippies unite for real, man. Peace out there, fellas.